Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker. In the last part, we did the Faculty of Anthropology quest with Fisher, and now we are off to the next set of Faculty Studium quests, where it incorporates both Botanist or Miner. I'm gonna go with Miner, because I know where to look for the stuff, as opposed to Botanist, so let's do it, shall we? Cultured something or other. Excuse me, kind madam. Pardon my forthrightness, but might I beg a moment of your time? I work under Professor Tonkin, and I'm in search of a capable miner to assist with his research. That is your profession, is it not? In which case, I wish to discuss potential employment with the Faculty of Anthropology. Assuming, that is, you have an interest in our work. Sure. Magnificent! Researchers Meet, where we currently find ourselves, is a place where good leaders connect with the faculty and students of the studium. It allows us to acquire the necessary materials for our studies and also provides us with a place to store supplies and specimens. With your help, I believe I may be able to procure what is needed for the professor's research. Of course, such work is predicted on the assumption Professor Tonkin has decided on a focus for his next project, which sadly he has not. How would you say he's the indecisive sort? Oh, that is certainly one way of putting it. If he doesn't hurry and submit a research proposal to study him soon, you'll be unable to secure funding for his work. Why, his very tenure could be cut short. It would be a great loss for the studium, as he is a remarkable scholar, the very definition of calm and collected, until he discovers something that piques his interest. Then his eyes widen and his cheeks take on a rosy hue. Honestly, it's like he regresses to being a young boy. Oh. Return to the topic at hand. Your first task will be to procure Professor Tonkin himself. I imagine you'll find him somewhere in Nomen, if you'd be so kind. Sure. Wonderful! And when you find him, pray offer him a slice of Archon loaf. Like as not, he's forgotten to eat as usual. Alright, the sheer size of the library can prove daunting at times, but I have spent enough time with the professor to know he's in there somewhere. Alright. Whatever you say, madam. Whatever you say. Let's go to the library. Library ahoy. Oh, by the way, before I go further, I should exchange some scripts so I can work on gathering more. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want. What can I grab? Cordials are probably the best option for me. Fuck it, cordials all the way. Not enough cordials to last a lifetime. Not like I'll need them for Miner anyway, so. Inventory's so full of shit. Maybe some inventory management once this is all over. Okay. Hey man, taking a little break? He's probably sleeping. Everyone falls asleep in the library. He's really out of it. What? Damn it, I succumbed to the sweet song of slumber yet again. She always strikes me when I least suspect it. There's not a person in the world who hasn't fallen asleep in a library at least once in their lifetime, so it's okay, guy. especially in college and in university. I don't suppose you would happen to have a morsel of food to spare on your person. I seem to have built up quite the appetite while it's dead to the world. There you go. Here's some Archon loaf. Hinageshi sent you, eh? Of course she would insist that I eat Archon loaf. At any rate, you have my thanks. I hope you do not think me rude for indulging right away. Everyone's gotta eat. That ought to silence my stomach for a while. Truly I am indebted to you, madam. Dozing in the midst of research is an all too common and routinely ignored occurrence around here. There is no telling how long I would have slept had you not come to when you did. In fact, it calls to mind the tale of researchers seeking a means to traverse the ethereal sea. He wished to do so while still amongst the living, you see, but they found him dead in the midst of a pile of books. But that is neither here nor there. I take you here to seek an employment. Your timing is quite fortuitous, as I but recently decided upon a topic for my thesis. Pray accompany me to the searcher's meet, and once more, and I shall explain it all to you there. I keep wanting to say scholar's meet. I don't know why. It sounds more bright, you know? Not searcher's meet. I keep wanting to say scholar's meet. Okay. Need to fall asleep in the library myself. Alright. Hey, buddy. There you are, my savior from slumber. Professor, please, it would be most rude to waste any more of her time. Might we discuss the focus of your next research project and what it is you require of her? Yes, of course. Time is of the essence. Honestly, Hinageshi, I do not know what I would do without you. Well, that was most flattering, Professor. Thank you. Oh. I mean it, Hinageshi. I would be lost. Completely and utterly lost. Oh boy. Spark of a romance between them or something? Yes, I'm quite famished besides. So absorbed was I in my research that I had all but forgotten my need for rest and sustenance. Were not for your kind gift, I would surely have expired by now. I think it's a little bit of an exaggeration. Oh, I thought you meant... I mean, yes, of course. Always happy to help. Provided our research is deemed valuable to the study and we are supplied with clothing and food and shelter, but only the bare essentials, mind you. You need but look around and know the veracity of my words. We do as we are instructed, researching and gathering resources, but what value do these things truly have in the grand scheme of things? The study of 1,000 civilizations and nothing here has changed. The culture of Charlene remains as stagnant as the threadbare attire we wear day in and day out. This guy's just spewing out some big concepts out there. I must confess that you do have a point about our garments. Should my shirt and trousers be soiled, I would have little recourse but to wear them inside out. But to be perfectly honest, I have no qualms with the way we live here in the Charlene. That is all well and good, Hinageshi, but would you be content to let your children live in such austere conditions? Your children's children? Children? Professor, why ever would you bring up such a thing? It is a subject I have thought to broach for some time. After all, you shall be my sole company for this foreseeable future, and not yours, correct? Yes, I suppose you're right, and I'm perfectly content as we are. Of course, if you prefer other company. Oh, this is awkward. Perhaps I'll come at a bad time. Perish the thought, I have long wished for the help of a third party and insist you stay to aid with our research. A third party. Splendid. I am resolved to change our current way of life. However, in order to do so successfully, I must determine what cultures are best suited to blend in with ours. As such, my research shall involve recreating the lifestyles of other cultures within this very building. So that was the cause for your furrowed brow of late. Well, it is a marvelous idea, Professor. Which is where your experience as a miner comes into play. I would have you gather materials necessary for sacred recreations. Though we do have a great deal of resources on hand at present, they are as yet inadequate for my plans. Now, if you'll excuse me, I require time to consider which culture I shall attempt to emulate first. Alright, you do that, man. Have you ever seen such an inspiring sight? Oh boy, what the fuck did I get myself into? If it is believed to see Professor Tonkin has at last chosen a subject for his research proposal, I myself have long been interested in the world's myriad peoples and their customs. In fact, that is precisely why I was so keen to work with gleaners, well versed as they are in the lore of distant lands. My parents, too, had a love for learning of other cultures. It was their fondness for the Far East and its beautiful flowers that gave them inspiration for my name. Despite knowing the origins of my name, I never gave it much thought. That is until one day when the professor commented on it on one of his enthralling lectures. However, he did not stop there. Professor Tonkin continued by musing on how even a single flower can go by many names. Different regions will know it differently, after all. He then went on to talk of how this difference in location, language, and lifestyle can have a profound impact on how we think. We all have our roots in the Far East, though I only know the Charlene way of life. I have long wondered what change might occur with my own mind should I someday visit my ancestral home. It is this very question which drives my research. Yes, even now I remember his words oh so clearly. That lecture inspired me to take on my current post. They're one and the same. Yet, though I do have done my utmost to assist him, our failure to present any findings has left me with naught to show of my own achievements. Oh, how I long to conduct research with him in the Far East. Just the two of us? Why don't you tell him about all this? What are you implying with that tone? I don't know, I mean, I'm starting to get some vibes here. No, perhaps this time I was honest for once. You see, I am rather fond of Professor Tonkin. I mean, that was pretty obvious. To be honest, it was a little more disconcerting that he has not noticed my feelings even when you have. However, given that his current research is squarely focused on creating a better life for us, I feel this is an opportunity I cannot pass up. But I have no experience in matters of the heart. Like a fool, my youth was spent with my nose buried in books. Would you perchance be more experienced in matters of romance? I would be forever grateful for your help in winning the professor's affections. Oh boy. Am I mine, or am I playing the role of Cupid here? Surely you will help me. Oh, thank you so much. Well, you two seem to be getting along. Oh, Professor, have you come to a decision? As you're doubtless aware, Charlene is frightfully cold all year long. All year round. However, this has led to rapid progress in our ability to control our environs. Nothing proves this fact more than Labyrinthos. It's so pleasantly warm down there that you would be forgiven for thinking you were somewhere altogether more tropical. This has inspired me to look into the lifestyles of those who would actually reside in balmy climes. We may yet happen upon a discovery or two that would never be made simply shivering in the cold. And in line of this, the culture we shall seek to emulate first is none other than Radzenhan's. Splendid! We will need you to go and collect a few things that can only be obtained at Radzenhan proper. Geshe will brief you in more detail. Oh boy! Anthropology engaged! I've made a list of a few Hana staples that we require to emulate life in Radzenhan, and, well, there are certainly quite a few things you would struggle to procure here in Charlene. There's one in particular which is used to make both vibrant dyes and special spices. Any road, the best is like getting this in Thabnair. The Hamsa Hatchery. Oh boy. Now these are much faster to go through than Fisher was. So we need to grab the Hana staple, which I will. Well, first, you want the max your collectability for this. You need 600. So if you want to do that, I'll show you how to do it. It's pretty simple. I probably don't even need to show you at all if you're an astute miner. Where am I going? I'm already lost. There I am. I'll show this once, and then for the remaining gathering objectives, I will cut it out in the editing. I need to go north. That way. Right around here. Pretty simple. Click on them that you want. Get rid of that menu. Use scrutiny. And just keep spamming this button. Which is pretty simple. Get over a value of 600 and you're good. So now we can mine it. Maybe 6 in total as per usual. There's 4. And 2 more. There's the last and there's the last 2 that I need. Pretty simple. It's a lot easier than it was for Fisher. And I don't need to do any more. So I got my 6. Pretty simple, pretty easy. You can blow through this in less than like an hour, if that. I just realized I don't have sneak on. How do I not have sneak on? What happened? Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. I'm in a town. That's why. Duh. I'm stupid. It doesn't show up when you're in a town. There you go. I got your stuff. Very easy to get. What fine specimens you found, and so vibrant. Yes, these will be most helpful indeed. Thank you. These rocks are used to create the vibrant dyes Hana's clothing is often known for. They say each color has its own special meaning in their culture. Right. Professor Tonkin and Hinageshi take the items you brought, then set to work emulating Hana's culture. Did you really have to dress the part too? Most colorful, would you not agree? Alas, one would surely freeze to death wearing these clothes in Chalain for very long. And while their cuisine is quite delectable, I must say it's rather spicy for my own palate. Perhaps the little love for spices developed out of necessity? A fun hypothesis indeed, Hinageshi. Food is prone to expire all too quickly in climates such as Radza Hans. copious use of spices not only helps to increase one's appetite, it also masks any unpleasant odors that may come from food on the brink of spoiling. And with spoiling food comes the risk of harmful bacteria, a likely reason for the region's struggles with sickness over the years. I can think of no better catalyst to spur innovation in medicine through the mastery of alchemy. This, for example, a tonic to raise the body's core temperature to protect from the cold. Resourceful as always. Thank you, Professor. Return to their pension of colorful hues. I believe I understand the reasoning for that as well. Simply put, primary colors stand out even under the unrelenting rays of the sun. Hence, everything from their buildings to their bracelets are made in bold primary colors. And each color represents different concepts. Red, for example, represents fire. Its close relative, orange, represents the spiritual fire that rages within one's soul. The very source of life itself. This is why they believe orange to be an auspicious color for would-be mothers and the like. Would-be... You don't say! My, that is good to know, Professor. What else can you tell me of Radzahan? Oh, plenty, but I find experience to be a better teacher. So come, let us live with as the Hanish do, and I'm sure it will happen upon countless discoveries. Well, this is all going rather swimmingly. I had hoped this research might bring us closer together, but I never dreamed to end up living together. Of course, it would have not been possible without your help, and for that, you have my thanks. I don't think I've done anything. You're not exactly living together either. Oh boy! I'm a matchmaker and playing the role. I don't know if I'm a minor or if I'm playing the role of Cupid here. I really don't know. Probably both. You've come at a good time. I do believe the professor has another assignment for you. What's up? Good to see you, my friend. We're in the midst of summarizing what we found, what we learned living an approximation of the Hanish lifestyle. While we commit our thoughts to parchment, I would ask you to acquire a few things we need for our next sampling of culture. And where did you have in mind exactly? Garlemald. Oh. The Empire? Oh my, I still wasn't expecting that. Do you truly believe there is aught we can learn from them to improve our way of living? I understand your trepidation, Hinageshi. While their history is filled with countless invasions and such, and much suffering, there may yet come a day where we live in peace alongside the people of Garlemald. Though I realize how unlikely that may seem at present. But the winds of change blow fiercely now, and there may soon come a day when they seek shelter here in Sharlayan. Knowing they cannot manipulate ether as we do, I wish to better understand their culture should we need to play the hospitable host. Now I feel like a fool for thinking you were only pursuing this project to improve the lives of those who presently call Sharlayan home. Such genius! To that end, I'll ask you to procure some most essential staple of Garlean living. I speak of an ore unique to the region and a certain fruit that has adapted to grow even in the coldest of climates. Oh, and do not fret, you do not need to bring both. One or the other will suffice. Alright, monitoring station G. Obviously, you gotta go to Garlemald. So, I'll go to Garlemald, I'll open up the map, show where you gotta go. Broken glass. So, what you want to do is go around here. All the points around this area will get you what you want. So, find the one that you're looking for, or find the fruit that you're looking for, whatever you're using, and then do what I did with the last set of items, and then you'll be done. So I'm gonna do that, and then once I got all the items, we will be back in the stadium. So, be right back. All right, I got my items I need, the staples. So, Hinageshi, here you go. Your bona fide exotic Garlean staples have arrived. Goodness, I didn't expect you to bring back specimens of such quality. This will make our work much easier. They use this ore to create alloys like adamantite, you know? Magitech couldn't exist without it. You don't say. Professor Tonkin and Hinageshi take the item you brought? Okay. I don't know why they had to dress the part, but whatever. Soup! I must say, I'm warming up to these cozy clothes and matchstick heaters. All this would have definitely improved life in Sholan. Alas, we've only been granted permission to use the heaters for the duration of our research. We'll have to return them to study until we're done. That said, I think I just felt a bead of sweat trickle down my neck. Perhaps I won't miss them as much as I thought. Then I take you have no need for this piping hot Garlean cuisine cooked with Magitech kitchen utensils? No, Professor. No, I will gladly sample any food prepared with skillful hands such as yours. Boy. Provided one is given the necessary instruction, even a child could operate these Magitech devices. And at the heart of all Magitech lies ceruleum, a most efficient and convenient energy source, indifferent to the whims of nature like wind and hydraulic power. Its mass production allowed the Empire to bring Magitech to the people at large, with further refinements their manufacturing process affording them their surplus time and manpower, which they applied to even greater innovations. That said, the importance of alternatives to ceruleum cannot be ignored. It is, after all, a finite resource. Should we completely squander the world's resources, we will inevitably suffer for our lack of foresight. I mean, that's certainly true. Professor, this looks exquisite. I thought as much as when we were studying Hana's culture, but you really are a fantastic cook. You flatter me, Hinageshi. I would be nothing without the recipes that guide me. Although it does warm my heart to see you enjoy my cooking so. There are many dishes I still wish to try my hand at, and I would be delighted if you're willing to sample them as well. Oh, it would be my pleasure. Oh boy. Is that my imagination, or has the professor been more affectionate towards me of late? It really makes me wonder what will become of our relationship when this research reaches its conclusion. Oh, but I must stop daydreaming. There is yet more work to be done. Alright. We're still playing the role of Cupid. I am positively desperate to know what culture we shall experience next. Alright. You need to calm down, lady. Welcome back, my friend, and we'll continue our experience as Garleans a while longer, though I would like to see you to set about procuring materials the next step in our research. Though, to be honest, I've still to decide where that step might be. Well, thus far we have lived as people as do in the freezing cold and the ferocious heat, so I would say it's time we set our sights on an altogether different sort of environment. Inclement. Spot on as always, Hinageshi. The people of Garlemald may have overcome nature's fear with their sterling use of technology, but they are far too reliant on ceruleum. Consider this. How would they cope if they were suddenly unable to obtain their precious fuel? One would never be without a contingency plan in case they are thrust into much less hospitable environs. That is certainly true. However, what kind of culture could take root in an arena that is effectively uninhabitable? Area. That's precisely what I have been mulling over of late, Hinageshi. I wish to look into how exactly culture could come to exist in such places. The issue is, well, such regions tend to be uninhabited as a result of their harsh conditions. In short, there is nowhere that meets my criteria to begin with. Inhabiting the uninhabitable. Yes, it does seem a symptom of a paradox, but there could be merit in investigating the idea. You're a well-traveled adventurer, yes? Can you think of any place that may suit our curious criteria? Maybe consider the moon. A sediment on the moon by the name of Mare Lamentorum? Well, that would certainly fulfill my requirements, but even if it truly exists, it's not as if one can travel to the moon on a whim. Yep, I can. You're breathing your tires serious, aren't you? Good gracious, you never fail to surprise. Do you not know who I am? Indeed. However, I feel obliged to mention that we know absolutely nothing of life on the moon, assuming it is even possible. Pray head to Mare Lamentorum and gather whatever items you believe are necessary to recreate life there. Okay, crushing brands. That's where we gotta go. You need to get lunar staples. Yeah, but if you're a miner, you need lunar staples from Heimdall's last site. So, we're off to the moon. By the way, if you want the collectability, 600 is what you're looking for. I don't care for that, so we're just gonna go. So, let me pop over here, I'll show you where to go. For miners. Botanists, you're kind of on your own. I guess I could show where botanists is. So for botanists, I don't know where you would be. Oh, Heimdall's last site. This is where you go for your botanist. I probably should have showed the last two areas as botanist. I'm sorry, I didn't think about it till now. This is where you go for botanist, but for miner, we're gonna go to the crushing brand, which is somewhere. Right here. This area. This big ass area. So that's where we're gonna go. We're gonna get the staples, and then I'll be back in. We'll be back in the stadium. So, be right back. All right, we got our staples. So, Hinageshi, got some lunar carrots for you. By the 12, you really are capable of traveling to the moon. I know nothing of the life on the surface, but even at a glance, I recognize the outstanding quality of these samples. These are carrots, aren't they? Not what I expected to be found buried in the crust of the moon, but thank you. Thank you very much. Alright. How do you dress up as lunar culture? Okay! I don't think the fucking bunny costumes are necessary. I was about to say, how the fuck do you dress up with lunar culture? Fucking hell. Professor, are you certain this is a representative of life on the moon? Well, but of course it is, Hinageshi. My information comes from the Loperids, the race that calls Mare Lamentorum their home. Well, that's all well and good, but is it necessary for us to don these ridiculous outfits? Well, that might help us experience life as the Loperids do. And as for all these carrots, make no mistake, Professor, it is wonderful to know that agriculture is possible even on the moon. But if your diet comprised entirely of one type of root vegetable, will not hold up to scrutiny. That may be so, but civilization have had to move and adapt countless times throughout history, and they were not always able to eat exactly what they longed for. There may come a day when we are too forced to move to the moon. The professor doesn't seem to be enjoying himself much. Perhaps he's not fond of carrots. I realize this is not the most opportune time to focus on my romantic pursuits, but soon my time will come. I can feel it. Alright. Huh. Are they gonna put those on a stand? Like, 'cause I see the last two costumes right there. They're gonna put these on fucking costume stands, aren't they? Or what are those things are called? Yeah, sure are. Well, there it is, right there. Alright. Hinageshi. I do wonder what culture that we shall be examining next. Knowing even the moon is inhabitable, the possibilities seem endless. I bear good tidings. Permission has been granted for our voyage. I decided it was about time we experienced other cultures firsthand rather than recreate them in our workshop. A fabulous idea indeed. Wherever are we going, Professor? You're gonna get Hingashi, Kugane to be specific. Oh, how wonderful! Though our journey has been improved, we cannot afford to tarry. We have granted but a short amount of time to stay there, you see. Are you perchance knowledgeable of the Far East? Yes. In that case, could we ask you to act as our guide? Sure. Yeah, my thanks. We should arrive at Pier 2 when we reach Kugane. Pray meet us there when we are ready. Alright. Kugane, we go. Kugane bound. Pier 2, huh? Alright. Sometime later. Now, let me dress for the occasion. We braved the experiments at XIV and came to via Razanhan. Much to our delight and surprise both, they were renting local attire, and I was not about to pass up the opportunity to dress in authentic Hengen garb. Still can't quite believe I'm here in this foreign land with the professor. Now, where is Kugane Castle? I don't know. How about the big building right behind me? Wherever it is, it does not seem to be visible from here. Would you happen to know a better place to take in its splendor? The roof of the Shiokaze holster should do nicely. Wait, just a moment. Are mere tourists such as ourselves allowed on the roof of said establishment? I enjoy fine views as much as anyone, but I would rather avoid becoming a criminal. Come on! Live on the edge, little man. You're in the land of ninja and samurai. Fuck. Perhaps Tasagare Bridge would be a better option. If I'm not mistaken, it should be close by. Should I have a take a look? Sure. Guy needs to live a little. A fortress most formidable. This may be an island like Charlan, but it is quite clear that our cultures are as not as day. However, one must keep in mind that Kugane is unlikely to be a true representation of life in Hingashi. After all, this poor town is but a tiny part of a larger region, and sadly the only section of it open to the wider world. If we are to get a truly accurate picture, we must speak with the locals. Speaking of which, this place is surprisingly peaceful considering recent events. The ruling clan of Stellus controls what information is allowed into the area, which begs the question. How much is known by those here regarding affairs in the rest of the world? Perhaps they are convinced they are strong enough to weather any storm alone. At any rate, our work here is certain to prove a most enlightening experience. Already am I glad for this trip. Professor, if possible, I'd like to very much visit the Umineko tea house and sample their dango. Oh shit, I skipped the last bit. Hingashi. Don't forget why we're here. We're researchers, not tourists. You would do well to remember that. My apologies, Professor. Forgive me, I did not mean to upset you. I fear the long journey has left me on an edge. Kugane does indeed thrive in tourism, and you're not wrong in deeming that aspect of that culture worthy of investigation. You are too kind, Professor. Now let's pay a visit to Pier 1 and take in the storehouses and make our way to Kokajaya. Oh boy. Come on, guy, I need to lighten up. I know your research is and all, but you need to chill out. Need to chill out. Alright. Such heat. Greater, perhaps, even than the Garlean heaters. It is an honor to witness the forging of Kugane's world-famous katana blades. We mustn't forget why we come here. I suppose now it is Hinageshi's turn to rebuke me. Hinageshi? Where'd she have gone? I was so entranced by the sights and sounds of the city I cannot rightly say when I last saw her. Let's split up and search for her. You would check the Aijin district. Aijin? I don't know my Japanese lingo. I will search on Kogane Dori. Alright. I can't use it! Take me away! I'm lazy and I don't want to walk. Ah, it's Seki Sugumi. A woman lost in the streets, you say? The tourists have no cause to come this way. You would better be served searching near the gates of Kugane Castle. Much of the city can be seen from there. Now, if you'll excuse me. Thanks, man. For the lovely support. La 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 la. There she is. What's she doing? Hinageshi! Found you at last. Professor! Oh, thank goodness. Thought if I waited here long enough, you would come eventually. Yes, we did plan on visiting the castle, didn't we? I should expect you would memorize our itinerary. What happened? So I could have sworn you were right behind me. Well, I was approached by a merchant on Kogane Dori while I saw we were making for Pier 1. I stopped to say I was not interested, but then when I turned around, you were nowhere to be seen. Should not have been so careless. You did warn me not to behave as a tourist, after all. No, I should have been more attentive. When engrossed in my work, my surroundings all but fade away. The thought of you lost, wandering aimlessly through the streets of Kugane, my heart was fit to burst. But to see you here safe and sound, words failed to express my relief. I could only imagine the distress I've caused you. Oh, Professor, what can I do to comfort her? That's it! What's up? Sorry I started to ask this of you, but I wish to fashion a hairpin for Hinageshi to lift her spirits. But I trouble to procure the necessary material. The Ruby Sea is said to be a treasure trove of resources. Perhaps you can find something there along the shore or beneath the waves. Sure, leave it to me. Thank you. I'll be a fool to leave her alone, so I'll wait here with her until you return. Hell's Lid! You know where Hell's Lid is, so I don't need to show you where Hell's Lid is. It's the big volcano. Anywhere in Hell's Lid you can find your hairpin, so I'm gonna go through my hairpin material, then I will be right back. You know what to do. Alright, easy peasy. Got my hairpin material. Here you go, Tonkin. Make herself a hairpin accessory. Easy peasy. absolutely stunning. I shall waste no time taking this to a craftsman. Pray keep Hinageshi company while I am gone. Where are you supposed to professor run off to? I suppose it doesn't matter. I will improve a hindrance where I will accompany him further. I need to calm down there, lady. My apologies for disappearing like that. I went on a little errand to have this made for you, Hinageshi. Wait, the flower on this hairpin is... Nothing gets past you. Indeed, is the flower the locals here know as a Hinageshi. I thought it would be a shame that we were to return home from our travels empty-handed. I hope it is to your liking. It's perfect. Thank you, Professor. I shall treasure it for all my days. She's so excited. Strange. These excursions to the lands are always rather stressful ordeal. The Hinageshi here, though, things are different. Oh, is he coming around finally? But there's no time for self-reflection. We must needs survey the rest of the town post haste. Let's make for the Yakuza district, followed by the Bokairo Inn. But wait, before all that, we must pay a visit to the Umineko tea house to sample their finest dango and tea. Thank you, Professor. I can hardly wait. There they go. Alright. To the Bokairo Inn. I can just teleport there, it's easier. Springs were exquisite, though, was the view that took my breath away. I mean, yeah, I get to struggle to believe that on the other side of this ocean lies Doma and the Azim Steppe, my ancestral home. How would I love to travel there just once to see how the nomads live firsthand. You will, Professor, someday, and I shall be by your side when you do. Oh, I should like that very much. Alas, the time has come to return to Charlayan. Pray stop by our searchers meet once you returned. I will let see you compensate for your work here. Thanks, man. Alright. Oh shit. Oh shit, no! Alright, I'm back. It's good to be home. Traveling is lovely, of course, but best enjoyed in moderation like all good things. Should be some place call home as well. Something like that. My FC home. Then I bid you return there and take a well-deserved rest. I'll be in touch again once we're ready to resume our work. I don't need a rest, I'm good. I have no home, I'm homeless. Homeless. All I got is an FC room. You know, on our return voyage to Charlayan, the professor said he'd been duly inspired and eager to continue our work. What culture do you suppose he intends to study next? I don't know. Now, Professor, now that we're all gathered, might we discuss your plans moving forward? Yes, of course. Our research thus far on the lifestyles of peoples various regions has proved quite enlightening. However, after much deliberation, I've concluded that to merely compare and contrast locations alone will not suffice. No, we must consider different time periods as well. Oh my. Well, I suppose that means we will be studying Alec then. I can think of none other bygone cultures worthy of scrutiny. And I understand full well why you would reach that conclusion. However, I recently happened upon a record that suggests that there exists a civilization that predates Allagans. A civilization older than time, far more advanced than one might believe possible. It sounds a fantasy, I know, but if it truly exists, I wish to create that paradise. I've seen a part of it. It's a place called Elpis. Please, tell us all you know. It's a magical land. A facility for testing the creation magics. Fascinating. Or anyone else I would call Matt the Mad, but you did travel to the moon. I realize I'm asking a great deal of you, but if there is a way to procure relics from that age, I would be greatly eternally grateful. I'll make what preparations I can for your return. This may yet prove to be the discovery of a lifetime. Anything you can bring back to us will surely prove a boon to his research. Alright, the Hungering Gardens. That's where we're going. For your collectability, you need at least 600. So I think it's 600 for all of them. Oh, buddy. Alright, so... Elpis. I'll show you where the Hungering Gardens are, then I'll cut away. So, Hungering Gardens right in this area, right in the big crater. So, pretty simple. Go there, get what you need, and we'll be back in the study once we're all done. So, give me a minute. Alright, I got my materials in hand, so Hinageshi, here you go. Make good use of them. I went far and wide for these. Shit, I just got the first bit of dialogue. These minerals are possessive of immensely high concentrations of ether. Whatever could they be used for? That I can't tell you. Pretty flowers. What? How the fuck did you learn how to talk in their language? I beg your pardon, Professor. Oh, my apologies, Hinageshi. I was simply imagining what the people of Elpis might have sounded like. How the hell would you know what they sounded like? You don't even... We did our best to recreate their culture based on what you have told us. Frankly, it felt like I had wandered into a fairy tale at times, but I do find their way of life has its merits. You do not waste time on the frivolous. Everything has a clear, functional purpose. Perhaps, but I find their clothes make it rather difficult to go about one's duties. It's entirely possible they did not engage in physical labor. Their proficiency in creation magics may have led to the decline of their physical frames. Wielding writing quills and such was no doubt a simple matter, but it is unlikely they could bear anything weighty. What role do you suppose these masks played exactly? Mayhap they were averse to showing their faces? I would posit that they distinguished each other not by their outward appearance but by their ether, or perhaps they all led such fulfilling lives that they simply had no need to express themselves as individuals. To think that such a sophisticated civilization could vanish in but a blink of an eye. I wonder if all cultures are ultimately destined to meet the same fate. We will discover that in due time, I'm sure. Though part of me wishes we could live like this forever. Huh, an interesting idea, Hinageshi, but I'm not so sure it is a wise one. Still, it is gladdening to see you enjoy the cultures of the old world so. Oh no, that's not what I meant. Not exactly. I was merely thinking of how nice it would be if every day could be like this. Experiencing new ways of living together. Studying the length and breadth of a people's history as a whole, we could see not but trends and tendencies. Like this, however, taking a glimpse of their lives day by day, the parallels between our cultures become quite clear. Even though these ancients of Elpis have no doubt enjoyed the simple pleasures of life as we do, taking each day as they came. It would be so lovely if we could do the same. Enjoying the pleasures of life one day at a time. Why, Hinageshi. She raises a good point. You're exactly right. I sometimes feel I learn more from you than I do in my own research. You flatter me, Professor, but I've said nothing worthy of such praise. Right. I'm a veteran matchmaker. I'm a veteran Cupid. Oh boy. Off to the last one. Culture of love. We've already amassed so much data for the professor's research, but I cannot imagine where we'll turn our attention to next. Can't tell you that. Good, you're here. There's something I wish to discuss with you both. I'll be informing the study that my research has concluded. What? But why? My apologies for keeping this from you, but my research had an ulterior motive. It was, in fact, a part of a contingency plan devised by the Forum. That plan being mass exodus to another star. The true goal was to determine what cultures were worthy of preservation, and how said preservation might be accomplished. I don't understand. Are you saying the Forum had resigned itself to abandoning this world? I'm afraid so. Yet the fact remains that culture can only survive and thrive with people who share in it. Any knowledge we might feasibly preserve now is no different from the myriad tomes collecting dust in the halls of the study. Which is why, apart from research being conducted in Labyrinthos, we were tasked with finding suitable culture elements we might actively preserve for those in the future. And it was during our most recent endeavor that I found my answer to this great conundrum. Hence, there is no need for further research. I need simply to summarize our findings in my thesis. My sincere thanks to you both for all your hard work. Surely the pleasure was all mine. Pity our work must come to an end. Well, yes, well... do you have any plans after our research was finished? I cannot say that I do. Our work together has been so engaging that I could scarcely think of naught else. In fact, it has been quite some time since I paid a visit to my parents. Which reminds me, they said they found a new studio when last we spoke. Something to look forward to on the voyage home, I suppose. A suitor? God, am I too late? If only she stayed a short while longer. What do I do now? Oh. I was hoping she would accompany me on my next venture. A research of a ceremony of sorts. I say research, but it's more of a get out with it, boy! Oh, Tonkin, what such roundabout thinking is about? That's how you got yourself into this mess. My recent endeavors together with Hinageshi have made me realize just how much she means to me. I realize the foolishness of harboring these unrequited feelings, but I can contain them no longer. Which is precisely why I intended to propose. It's about time. I appreciate your enthusiasm, though I don't understand why you're so moved by my proclamation. But before I propose, it would be prudent to learn how she feels about the matter, and for that I require your help. Though I understand if you would rather not involve yourself in such a personal matter. I came this far, I gotta see it through to the end. It will help me? Truly? Then perhaps hope is not yet lost. You see, my plan was to fashion an eternity ring. I wish for it to be something memorable, which is why I would ask you to procure materials for the ring from the place where Hinageshi and I first worked together, Labyrinthos. I shall see to the rest, and have hopefully steeled my nerves in the interim. The Lower Akrinthos. Alright. Don't know where that is, so we're gonna look at the map together. I don't know which word's closer to, so I'm going to this. I'm just gonna go to the Hamlet. This location is 2311 on the map, so where am I going? 2330? Down there? Or excuse me, 2311, my bad. Where the fuck did I get 30? Up there? No, that's not it. Is it? No! That's not the little awkward those. Is it? Fuck if I know. 2330? That's gotta be it. Or dirt. Wait, fuck me. $23.11. Alright, well, that's in this area, I guess. I thought it was a lot lower than that. Alright, so it's somewhere around there. So, I'm gonna go get my ring material, and we'll be back at the Studium, and then we'll go from there. Alright, man, I got your Eternity ring material, so make yourself a good ring. Thank you, now to set about fashioning the ring. Before you go, may I ask one last favor of you? Please deliver this letter to Hinageshi. Alright. Back to the port. Still hard to believe our work with Professor Tonkin is over. It was foolish of me to grow so attached. I know, but I've never been so happy with him as when I'm with him. Part of me wishes he felt the same, that we might have grown closer in the short time we had together. Alas, life really lives up to expectations, but thank you again for your help. I had better be going now. I don't think so. I'm not going nowhere. A letter? From the professor? Says he wishes to discuss his future works with the Studium, and I am to return immediately. But he should be writing his thesis. What could be so urgent? Only way to find out, I suppose. Yep, back to school! Alright, man. You delivered the letter. Good. Now I need but wait for her arrival. Sorry to keep you waiting, Professor. Thank you for returning on such a notice. You see, there's something I must tell you. To be brief, how should I say this? Come on, man. You noted in your message that you wish to discuss future matters with me. Have you perchance decided on another subject of study? No, not exactly. You see, Hinageshi, I'd like to officially list you as the lead author of my current thesis. Actually, this will require you to contribute extensively to its composition as well. Find an opportunity for you to put forth writings on your own as well. You would trust me with the position of lead author? I would be honored, of course, but it was you who did the most work. I could not possibly steal the plaudits you so rightfully earned. Nonsense, I've learned so much from you over the course of our research, it would be nigh fraudulent of me to take all the credit. Is that so? I had no idea. Well, I'm afraid I must disappoint you, Professor Tonkin, for I cannot stay. My parents have completed arrangements for me to meet with this new suitor they found, so I must return home at once. You shall do nothing of the sort! Professor, please. There is still plenty of time until the thesis must be submitted, correct? Surely it can stand and wait until I've met with... The thesis is not what concerns me, Hinageshi. It's, Speak from the heart. Do it, boy. Out with it. Yes, of course. Not for you. I fear my nerves would have gotten the better of me. Thank you. Our work together has taught me most valuable lesson. It's not an environment that makes a home, but rather the people who one shares it with. And in time, those people have formed the deepest bonds. Hinageshi, the time we spent together has been the happiest of my life, and I do not wish for it to end. Say that you will stay with me, and that we may enjoy the simple pleasures of life together, one day at a time. Professor Tonk and I don't know what to say. You're well within your rights to refuse if that is your wont. Should you choose to be bonded with this suitor of yours, I will not stop you. Bonded? What are we talking about? Oh boy, it's a misunderstanding. Did you not see your parents found you a suitor? No, you have it all wrong, Professor. The suitor is not for me, it's a business partner for my parents. Oh my god. The sound effects. Your parents? Fuck. You didn't know that my parents are both botanists, yes? They were recently introduced to a potential financial supporter who wished to know more of my research interests. I thought it was an opportunity to secure funding for our next venture, so I just agreed to meet with him. Our next venture? Of course! You won't be getting rid of me so easy, Professor. There's still so much for us to see, so much to do. Then, does this mean you accept my proposal? Proposal? I'm not sure I follow. May I ask why you have that? God, she's so dense! Well, you see, this ring is used in ceremony of eternal bonding, and I was hoping you might join me in a recreation of the ceremony. A recreation? Absolutely not. Then let this be the first of many real experiences together. Hinageshi, will you join me in the ceremony of eternal bonding? I thought you would never ask. It's one way to accept the proposal. Where the fuck did they get the uniform? I know not what the future holds, but for so long we're together, I know our days will be filled with joy and happiness. A lifetime of new experiences and endless possibilities. Oh boy. It's like watching a wedding. Where the Am I supposed to be the guy who's doing the ceremony? Oh god. Oh boy. Oh boy, oh man. This is all so sudden. If you told me this was a dream, I might be inclined to believe you. Nevertheless, it glads me to know that we will continue to work living together as we are. Though a small change of pace now and again would not be a terrible idea. Perhaps we'll take a trip there once our thesis is dealt with. And speaking of trips, we'll have to pay a visit to my parents first and foremost. A splendid idea. I had a feeling you'd think so. But for all that, I wish to thank you for help to complete our great work and, more importantly, bring the two of us together. I believe I speak for both of us when I say you have our eternal gratitude. Alright. I don't know. I still don't know if I was playing the role as a miner, as a gleaner, or playing the role as Cupid. It's probably both. Alright! I'm a master matchmaker. Oh boy. Okay. And there's the ceremony outfits back there. And that is going to be it for this part. We're done with the crafter, or not, excuse me, not the crafter, the gatherer studying quests. We got 3 more to do. This one is with the carpenter, leatherworker, and weaver. This is with alchemist or culinarian. And this is with blacksmith, armorer, and goldsmith. So I'm not quite, well, obviously I'm going down the list, but it's gonna be a while before I actually do those. Cause like with the gatherers, I don't really level up the crafters until the respective beast stripes come out, which I'm assuming it's Loporits, which are not gonna come out for quite some time. Probably not for like another 2 or so patches. So it's gonna be a while before we can do more studying quests. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this part. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next part, whatever that's gonna be. I'm not quite sure what the next part for Final Fantasy 14 is going to be. It's either gonna be an event or new patch stuff. It's probably I would chalk up to event because we're getting close to Christmas, so the Christmas event should be coming up in the next couple of weeks or so. That's probably what's going to be coming up next. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you whatever the next part's going to be. Later.